Let's learn how to select objects in 3D. Alright, so there are old videos from Godot 3 that would tell you to take your object, come in, stick an area, there we go, stick an area 3D, give that a collision shape, give it whatever shape, go into your area, and you got signals, like input event, for example. Now, we don't need to use areas for this, unless it's not a physics object, because if it's a physics object, such as this static mesh here that all my cubes are, all the static bodies, they all have input event because they're all coming from this collision shape. Is it collision shape? Oh, sorry, collision object. So all your physics bodies are going to have that already. So we don't even really need, we don't need that area. So if you try to do that, it's not going to work. Or rather, technically, I guess you could say if you use the right signal, it would work. But then that's extra nodes you don't need, and every extra node takes away from performance. So you're reducing your FPS by going about it that way. If you're using a physics body, because it's already a collision object, right? So anyway, I just have a static body. It's got a mesh for the cube. It's got its collision shape, and that's it. And we've got 4 of them: my cube, your cube, his cube, and her cube. And we have a camera in the scene. Right, that's all we got going on. We take a look, we run it, that's it. So the new version of doing that, I should say quote unquote new version, of course would be doing the input event signal connected to our node. Right, and we can come in, we can do our if check. Right, whether you're doing if input button press, which wouldn't really be that great in the situation because we're looking for an input event, so we're looking more for like the mouse, for example. So of course we're going to say if event is the input event mouse button, and the button's pressed, and that button is the left mouse. So this is basically saying if we left click on it, do this. Right, so we'll say print, and we have access to camera, event position, normal, shape index. Alright, and if we come up here and we take a look at this, we're not going to be able to, there we go. Object receives unhandled input, yes, blah, blah, blah. Location of the world, mouse pointer surface, shape index, and the normal, yep. All that looks perfectly fine. So we can come in and we can go ahead and print. We could print out the event or the event position, the normal, shape index, right? We could print any of this stuff. So for now, let's go ahead and just print out the event. And we can see nothing happens when I click on these cubes, but if I click on the one that has the signal, we're clearly getting a response to it because we're printing out the event that's happening, which is our first one, which is mouse button down, right? So left click down and then left click up is what would happen, right? Because in our case, we're only checking if it's specifically button down. So we're checking if it's pressed. But if you didn't have that check in there, you'd be getting 2 inputs, one for the press, one for the release. Right. So that works. However, you might already be starting to see the issue here. We're going to have to come in and go to all of these and connect all of these signals. All right, we're going to connect them. Pass it in, and we're going to have the exact same thing going on here. And we're going to have all these functions, signals, that are all doing the exact same thing out here. Right? So we don't really, issue is here. We're either going to have one function that has all of our signals connected to it, or we're going to have a bunch of functions here that are separate. And regardless of which way you go about it, we don't really have the object that we clicked on. Right? We just know that we clicked on an object because the signal was sent out, but we don't have the object that sent the signal. So to use this method or this function, we'd have to, this signal that's already built in, we would have to connect this manually in our code, and then we would have to bind each of our objects. So if you have, I don't know, maybe say you got a decorating game, if you got 30 objects, you've got to connect all of those signals one by one yourself, as well as bind them to it so that you can know what object you were clicking on to move around. And that starts to become a huge hassle, especially when we can go about it a completely different way. So if you wanted to send it an object, as I was saying, you would have to manually connect it. Go ahead and manually connect it like this. Right, so here's cube, input event, which are signal, connect, the function you want to connect it to. Oops, a little too much. Call bind, pass in what you want to bind, which is going to be the his cube object in this case, and we can add sender to the end of our object arguments for the function, and then that sender is going to be that thing we binded, so that's always going to be his cube, right? It's going to be that object. Now if we had another, right, so let's go with her cube, and we'll do the same thing, only we're going to bind her cube to it. So let's see what happens if we try to connect two of them to the same signal with different bindings. Let's see, his cube, her cube. So we can see this works. So you would have to modify that a little bit to add that extra parameter in and bind each of your objects. And this is, of course, assuming you want the same functionality for all of them. All right, so here as an example, instead of printing, I went ahead and I went ahead and got the mesh. So remember, my sender is going to be either his cube or her cube. We're going to get child 0, which is just going to be the mesh instance. And the material, I'm going to just get the mesh, get the surface override material of it, right? Which is, it only has one surface, right? Which is surface 0. Now if you bring it in a custom mesh, of course, you might have multiple surfaces. Then I'm going to check. So if material is null, that means we don't have any material in there. So if we don't, then I'm just going to create a new material, mat equals standard material 3d.new, and then I'll set that. So I'll set surface override material 0 and set that to the material I just created. And then on that material, I'm just going to change the albedo color to a random color, basically. So if I want to do something like that, like you saw in the opening, that's how we're going to do it. And again, you just have to bind all your objects to it. If you wanted to go about it that way. So that's a little more complicated than what it used to be with 3. Now, what I'm going to do is comment this out. That's fine. I can comment that out as well. I'll just put a pass in there, and we'll comment out those connections as well. Because there is another way. Now, myself, this is the way I would do it. This is going to use the input function, and we're going to start off the same way. And this is how a lot of things are done, to my understanding, in other games as well. We're going to start with our input function. Of course, it has an event, and we're doing the same thing. We're basically just checking if it's a mouse button, if it's pressed, and if it's left mouse. Right, the same thing we did before. I am going to store a couple variables here. Right, so I'm going to get the mouse position, so event.position, because event in this case, very specific case, is our mouse. I'm going to get a from position, so from camera.project ray origin. So I'm going to project a raycast going from my mouse position to project ray normal, camera.project ray normal, and we're doing it times 1,000. So we're basically just sending that ray out really far, going from our camera, based on where we clicked, going straight out. Now this next one is going to be a little big. We have 2 variables here. So we got space state, get world 3D dot direct space state. So this is just going to get the 3D world. It's going to give us direct access to the physics state. sounds a little strange. I'll hover over it here. But it says direct access to the world's physics 3D space state, used for querying current and potential collisions. And that's essentially what we're going to be doing, right? We're going to check what it is that we're going to be colliding with. So we're going to use that on our result. It's going to be that space state dot intersect ray, and we have to pass in a physics ray query parameter 3D. So you can just type that long class in dot create, and this has multiple arguments that you see there. The only ones we have to pass in is our from and our to. And with that, the result is going to be whatever we've collided with. So this is going to be any object in our world. So all we have to do is just check if we have a result. We're going to say if we have a result, then I'm going to create a variable called clicked object. We're going to do results.collider so we can get the object that we collided with, or the object we clicked on, in other words. And then this is just the exact same thing that I did prior, right? That we just did. So we're going to get the mesh with clicked object.getChild0, which is our mesh instance. We're going to get the material, get surface override, right? From surface 0, there's no material. Then we'll create a new one and set it. And I'm going to set the albedo to a random color. So this would work with any object in the world. And we only have to write it once. We don't have to keep connecting so many different signals. But this is how you get exactly the thing that you're clicked on and how you can interact with it. So if you wanted to create be able to move an object around in, again, like a decorating game, you could do this one time. And it works, right? You can always just check if your clicked object is in the decorating group, or if you're in decorating mode, right? Whatever it is that your game would have, you can just do that. So there's two ways of doing it there. There's the built-in signal, but you have to bind it to your objects. And then there's the one-time function that will just work for everything without having to use signals for anything. So there's two ways there that you can go about it to get whatever it is you're clicking on. Alright, which route you want to go is going to be completely up to you, but that's it. Take care, have yourselves a good one, and I'll see you guys next time.